Hello, ladies. It's Marie. I wanted to finish out the week strong with just a really quick step it up in September deep dive on the third step. First step is intention for the rest of the year to give you a guiding light to achieve for the next 4 months and be strong. The step two we talked about yesterday is to create a new habit or a new practice that will, or getting rid of a bad habit that will restart you and reinvigorate you and rejuvenate, reboot, whatever reword you want to use. We talked a lot about that yesterday. And today I want to talk about creating a joy practice. So here's the thing with crazy busy women, we get into overwhelm quite often, or we live in overwhelm and survival mode. And so at every task, even the ones that we actually are looking forward to, become tasks. Everything that is on our calendar is overwhelming and a task, like, something like dinner with friends. Not that we can really do that right now with COVID in many states, but let's just say dinner with friends, something you're looking forward to all week, all of a sudden sounds exhausting. Or something you have to do, throwing a party, going out, whatever it is. And we get overwhelmed and everything becomes overwhelming. And so we just opt out of the fun stuff. And we say, we'll do that later once work gets done, or once I get through this busy season or this project or whatever. And guess what? We never find time for joy. And we expect it just to show up in our lives. And we're lucky enough where it does a lot if you have those types of lives. But sometimes we get into a real pattern of our light turned down and joy having a really hard time coming in, happiness, laughter, all those things, because the condition of survival mode is heavy and burdensome and darker. And joy has a really hard time showing up. And one of the things that I work with all my clients on in our 8-week program is really recapturing that joy of that young girl inside of you and really feeling that freedom again that you felt when you were younger, and had not so many responsibilities and so many people counting on you. And to really release that and change your perspective and approach to work and life so that you can have full access to joy and freedom. And that is possible for you. But in the meantime, I want you to take a baby step in September in the Step It Up in September challenge to create a joy practice weekly. Something that you will put on your damn calendar if you're one of those people, or implement in your life every week that brings you joy. One of my friends told me last night, because she follows us, that she's doing a painting, like a paint by numbers kind of thing for adults. And that it's really bringing her joy because she remembers how much she loved art. Another one is doing bike rides, because I talked about how much I feel like a little girl when I bike ride. It really accesses that part of me. Um, Another person is we've got somebody joining. Another person is doing a dance party with their kids every Friday, and I think I'm going to absorb that one. Mine is a bike ride on Friday. I want to mark the end of the week because everything's kind of blending together in COVID. And mine is to really mark Friday with some celebrations of joy. So I don't want to be so regimented, like we've got to go on that bike ride, because then it becomes another to do. But I want to spend Friday evening with fun, not just zoning out in front of the television or on technology because the week is over, but really just doing something about connection, community, and fun with my family. And here's what I want to leave you with is, like, I want you to think about this, because I want you to go back in your life and think about what brings you joy. What brings you joy? And I want you to pick one of them and bring it back into your life in a big or small way. I'll take small right now. With COVID happening, with all the awful things happening in our world today, with the fires in California, which is where I live. Thankfully, I live by the beach, but our skies are filled with ash, and we're cloudy because of all the fires around us. And a lot of people are losing their homes, and There's a lot of strife in the world. We've got an upcoming election, and the world has never been more divided. We have COVID happening, and God knows when it will ever be done. Some kids are in school, some kids are doing school from home. I could list 100 million things that 2020 has brought us. Get more important than ever to practice joy in your life. And it's not happening or showing up as much as it normally does. And for crazy busy women, it's something we've gotten really used to not really doing a lot. And the go-tos of going to concerts or going out to dinner or these things are hampered in this world we're living in right now. And I don't know when they're coming back. And so we've got to take responsibility for joy in our lives. So something small that's a joy practice. I heard this thing last night. I'm part of this parenting group I just started, and they do a monthly call. And the expert was just so profound about, like, she's like, who's lost it lately? And like, lots of people raised their hand. And she said, I get it. She goes, here's the thing is physiologically our bodies are ready and can handle a certain amount of disaster level stress. I'm paraphrasing, but like hurricanes or fires or a terrible health diagnosis of somebody you love or yourself, and your body prepares to handle the crisis, and all of your physiological chemicals come to play. But we've been going through this for 6 months, and we've been at that state and having to draw upon that, and we're out of reserve. And so we're walking around, and our children, by the way, walking around, and the people we love in our lives, walking around raw, just completely raw. And so our emotions we're more sensitive, we're more bitchy, we're more triggered, we're having a harder time letting things go. We feel more sadness. And that is perfectly normal for what we've been dealing with in this extended period of time. And as I mentioned, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, probably going to go on longer. So we're out there, like, almost like she said, almost like with our flesh opened up. And so everything is exposed and raw. And it makes so much sense to how we're behaving, and how, like, I know that the stress everybody is under. And I've talked about it in terms of like walking through fog, because we don't know, we've never been through this before. We can't see the horizon, and it's really hard and sometimes distressing and depressing to live in fog, or be so raw all the time. And so more important than ever is it for us to program fun in our life, joy in our life, fun and laughter, watching comedies, heck with these documentaries and stuff. Like, we need to be, my alarm is going off. We need to be deliberate about bringing joy and light into our lives right now. And so I ask you in September to make a weekly practice of something that brings you joy. Whatever it is, small, medium, large, or create a new one, try something new. Creativity is always a great place to go, because it gets you outside of your head. Getting off screens and doing something out in nature is always a good idea, because it gets you out of your circumstance and frees up your mind. Exercise, all of that stuff that you find fun, maybe hiking. Something that's purely joyful and silly. Let's do silly too. God, silly doesn't come up enough in our lives. So it's a pretty simple one, but strangely, I'm having women tell me it's really, really hard for them. They can't think of something. They're feeling, here's the funny thing about crazy busy women. I've had a lot of people call me this week with this Step It Up in September thing, going, I'm super stressed about the joy one. I can't think of anything, which is so hilarious, because in a nutshell, that is a crazy busy woman. You've created stress around a joy practice. Instead of like, oh, this could be fun, let me think about what brings me joy. It's like, no, I want to do it right. I don't want to mess this up. Why can't I think of anything? And we find a way to beat ourselves up for not being able to think of something. So just go back into, like, just get quiet again. Rule number 1, get quiet, and just think about the things that bring you joy. One of my clients said skincare, like it brings her joy. Like, so maybe do a facial every week, something that brings you joy. Whatever it is, I want you to insert it and practice it weekly. In September, the entire month of September, because what we're trying to do here is lay down some new programming. And I ask you, I urge you, hi, Libby, to do this one, to take this one seriously, take joy seriously and put it in your life and shoot for the fences or swing for the fences. That's the wrong shoot baskets, wrong analogy. Swing for the fences and go for silly, something that just is silly and great. Do it. Okay. It's time. It's never been more needed. And it's a key part of getting out of your current circumstance and tapping back into what life is really about. Okay. So go create a joy practice right here, right now, weekly. This is what I want for all of you now that this is the last step in the Step It Up in September challenge. I want you to spend this weekend writing these down. I want you to write your commitments down. What's your intention for the next 4 months? What's the new habit you're adding or the bad habit you're getting rid of? And what is your weekly joy practice? I want you to put it on a piece of paper and anchor it, put a stake in the ground and anchor it into your life. And then I want you to post them on Monday. I'll post mine. It can be just in a post typed in. You can make a little poster and take a picture, whatever you want. I need you to do it because we're going to do this together. And I know there are so many women out there that listen to me in this Facebook group, Crazy Busy Women in Balance on Facebook. If you haven't joined, you need to join, that are watching. I know you're watching and I see you, but I don't hear from you. And I want you, we have 3,000 women in this group. I want you to start joining in. We need community right now in our lives. And when women get together, there is nothing we can't accomplish. Double negative. We can do anything, you guys, and we need to be there to support each other. So tell me what's going on. Post your Step It Up in September challenge commitments. 1, intention. 2, a great habit or bad habit you're getting rid of. 3, a weekly joy practice. Do it, okay? Spend the weekend seeding it, writing it down, and on Monday I'll be back at you, and I'm dying to see what you're going to do, okay? Love you guys. Have an awesome weekend. I am out. I've got one more call, and then I'm going to enjoy my weekend. Bye.